Welcome back to Adelante, Chicago. The history of the Puerto Rican community in Chicago dates back over 6 decades, but up until now, there has not been a center where people could learn more about its contributions to our city. The new Puerto Rican Museum will serve such historical archive while showcasing the artistic talent of Puerto Ricans here and on the island. This jewel of 19th century German architecture is now bursting with the colors and sounds of the Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico. This historical landmark just opened its doors as the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture.
This is going to be the cultural anchor of Humboldt Park, where people are going to come to learn about Puerto Rican culture, history, but not only about our history, about the history of the community.
In the northwest side of the city, Humboldt Park has long been considered the heart of Chicago's Puerto Rican community. So for many people, this was the perfect place for the museum.
It is here that we're going to make, obviously, a claim to this community, but a claim that's based on the Puerto Rican presence and persistence in this community for the last 6 decades.
Opening the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture has been far from an overnight project.
All I knew was that I needed to get this project done.
This has been a labor of love for former Alderman Billy Ocasio and his wife Veronica that has taken over 14 years to come to fruition, because turning the former Humboldt Park horse stables into a cultural institution was no easy task.
There was no plumbing in the place. It was horse stables. There was no plumbing nor electrical. I was on the National Historical Landmarks, so we had to basically do all sorts of things to make sure that this place was operable.
Plus, they had to raise the funds to rebuild the place, a total of $8 million to date. Ocasio gets emotional when he thinks about everyone that has helped them make this dream come true through all these years.
This community has believed in us. It's a community that's come together and said, we're going to make this happen. And if we have to raise $1 here, $1 there, people have contributed.
The National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture will hold exhibitions of local Puerto Rican artists as well as island-based artists. On opening night, the executive director of the Museum of Contemporary Art of Puerto Rico announced an agreement to share exhibits with its Chicago partner.
There are more Puerto Ricans outside Puerto Rico than within Puerto Rico. So for us, it's very important, to establish this connection, particularly with Chicago.
The museum will have space for all expressions of art, and it will serve as a research facility and a historical archive of the Puerto Rican community in Chicago, a fact that excites many members of the community who feel that up until now, the people were the museum.
People would know of the Puerto Rican community, know of the Puerto Rican restaurant, know the Puerto Rican friend, but now they can know the Puerto Rican contribution, all in one great place.
Also exciting are the economic opportunities potential visitors to the museum could bring to Humboldt Park.
I truly hope that the community embraces it and that this becomes like, another trolley stop for the city of Chicago.
The museum will also collaborate with other immigrant communities in the city. Currently in the works is an exhibition with the National Ukrainian Museum of Chicago.